And in regards to creating a powerful mindset, I believe that that is one of the most essential resources for us in every aspect of our life. How do we create that powerful mindset day in and day out where we wake up? I mean, I know that I do my affirmations because I was taught to, and I encourage my children to do so, and I wake up positive, and I want to be that upbeat person in the office, and I'm committed to planting seeds of greatness as you are. The thing is that a lot of people in our surroundings don't have that mindset, don't have that drive, don't have that ability to, grasp what we're trying to lead, what we're trying to teach, what we're trying to inspire. So how do you create that mindset in your environment? Because I believe that if everyone around you has that high level of motivation, has that high level of positivity, it impacts you in a very positive way.
Sure. Well, the first thing is you have to create it in yourself.
Right.
And you do that by reading books that are positive and possibility thinking and autobiographies of famous people who've achieved wonderful things and so forth. Listening to books on tape as you're driving to work. There's so many books now in the self-help field, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And you can listen to those in your car, you can listen to them when you're running, you can repeat your affirmations when you're running, you can watch positive videos on YouTube and TED Talks and so forth. As far as creating it around you, it's the same thing. I used to pay my children to read uplifting, empowering books. Why? We'll pay them to wash the car, we'll pay them to cut the grass. Ultimately, in the long run, what's going to be more valuable to them? Knowing how to wash the car, or being able to think a positive thought, set a goal, say an affirmation, visualize positive things, know that if they practice a little harder than most people, that slight edge of maybe 5% more practice every day over the course of the year equals hundreds of hours of extra practice, way beyond everyone else. So if I had a company, and I do, I give my staff books to read. I send them to seminars. I gift them with CDs and DVDs and tickets to things. I have meetings where we go around and share our successes, talk about our fears, and then create stretches for how we're going to overcome those. I reward them for doing those kinds of things. We challenge them when they say negative things, when they say, I can't, I'll try. They blame, complain, or make excuses. There's a consequence for that. So basically, it's reprogramming your mind with the opposite of the toxic thoughts that are already in there. It's like, you remember in school, your science teacher would have a beaker full of green water, and then they'd add something, and all of a sudden it turned clear. Well, that's the same way. You have to put enough good stuff in to crowd out the other stuff. We're just doing some work on my property where we're removing some trees that are crowding out everything else. Nothing can grow. These are kind of what they call volunteers. They just landed there and grew, and we noticed it for a couple of years, and now it's crowding out the ferns and the flowers and everything else. So we have to remove that which is negative so the positive can be there. We're naturally positive, but we've been so programmed, we have to reprogram.
That's absolutely true. I agree. Another point in your book is the you have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Right? You have to believe in yourself. And sometimes we're constantly debating. It's an inner debate. Can I? Will I be able to? Like you said, am I good enough? Am I capable? Do I have the abilities? I remember Tom Ferry used to say, if you don't have the resources, be resourceful. Everything's at your fingertips right now. Right now is the moment.
Right.
That there's just simply no excuses. Opportunity is everywhere. Right?
Totally.
So how do we create that belief in ourselves, that self-confidence that yes, I could do it. I'm going to put my mind, I'm going to put my heart and soul into this, and I'm capable of doing it. How do I create that confidence? Is it by doing it over and over again?
Well, the first thing I tell people to do, especially adults, is look back over your life and make a list of everything you ever accomplished. I mean, right down to I passed first grade, I passed second grade, I passed third grade, I passed fourth grade. And I asked people to come up with 101 successes. And literally, you get down to, I got my driver's license. I went from private to corporal in the Army. I saved $150 and bought my first bicycle. Whatever it is. We tend to take for granted all those things we did, and then we look at the future and think we can't do the next big thing. And we're always attracted to do something that's a little bit more challenging than what we did in the past. But if you realize that you've achieved a lot in the past, and everybody has. I was working with people on welfare, and this woman said, I ain't got no successes. And I said, that's impossible. You're here. Now, do you have children? Yeah. Are they fed? Yeah. How do you feed them? Oh, she said, when you're someone like me, you got to figure out how to make a 50-pound bag of rice last a whole month, you know. And she's going on and on about all these things she's done. Another guy was on welfare. He had emigrated from Germany to France, learned French, became a mechanic, lost his job there. The economy, as you know, bear's not really good. And he comes over to America, learns English. He's a good mechanic, but he hasn't found a job yet. How many of us have emigrated to 2 different countries, learned 2 different languages, managed to keep feeding our children in the process, but I ain't got no successes? So we have to go back and really examine what have we already accomplished. That's the first thing. The second thing is to surround yourself as much as possible with positive people. And if you can't do that in your real life, because there's a lot of negativity, that's where YouTube, books, seminars, audio programs, all kinds of things. There's so much stuff on YouTube right now, it's ridiculous. You could take 1,000 hours of self-help workshops for free just by watching YouTube videos. All these people, myself and Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy and Lisa Nichols, and we could go down the list of all those people that are out there. Reading positive books. Now, the next thing is start taking small risks and surviving them. Don't start with, like, if you want to be a speaker, don't start with a 10,000 person audience. Start with 20 people, start with 100 people, then you build yourself up. I mean, my first speaking engagement was teaching 36 kids 5 times a day in 5 classrooms in high school. And then it was 100 teachers. And then it was 500 teachers. And not too long ago, I spoke to 8,000 people for 3 days at a multi-level marketing conference in India. And I've spoken to 10,000 dentists, you know, followed Bill Cosby, who was funny as hell. And I thought, wow, I got up there, what do I do now? I said, that was the best warm-up act I've ever had. You know? But you know, I couldn't have done that initially. I would have been scared. So you want to give yourself something that's above gradient, but not so far that it's going to freeze you. You want to stretch, but not, you know, overwhelm yourself with your commitments. I teach something called the poker chip theory of success. If we were in Las Vegas, which I was a couple of weeks ago for an internet marketing conference, and you had $100 in chips, and I have 5, let's say 10 chips, and we go to the blackjack table or whatever, you're going to play more, I'm going to play more cautiously than you, because if I lose 2 bets of 5, I'm done, I'm out for the day. You can lose 2 bets of 5, you got 90 left. So you're willing to take more risk, bet bigger, etc. And so by building up my self-esteem, by building up my self-confidence, doing the kind of things we just talked about, then I get more poker chips, now I can take bigger risks. I can invest more money, I can talk to bigger groups, I can say scarier things, I can risk more rejection when I'm in sales, whatever it might be.
You know what I find extraordinary about people like yourself and the people that I've interviewed is that although you have already reached high levels of success, you continue to work, you continue to strive, you continue to dream. Mike Ferry said the other day, I'm not stopping. I mean, I'm not stopping.
Me either.
You know, I still feel young, I still feel dynamic, and this is what keeps me alive.
Yep.
This is what feeds my soul, and I see that in you, I see that in your eyes. I know that you love to train. I felt that engagement. I felt as if you were talking to me when we were in Dallas. You know, I was like, all of a sudden I see myself and I'm like, oh my God, I'm crying. And I talked to my son and I said, I wish you guys were here. He's like, Mom, you're with the guy with the white hair, right? Yes, I am.
The guy with the
I
white
am.
hair.
He's great, and I'm coming back with a whole bunch of ideas, and I just filled my soul with fuel. So why is it that when you reach those levels of success, you're not drawn to, okay, I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to, you know, I've already conquered the world. I've already filled all my bucket list. There isn't anything left for me to do. Why is it that you guys continue to strive to be better? Because for you that are watching this video, if you're stopping, take a look at these gentlemen that are killing it and that are totally unstoppable, right?
No, it's true. You know, my wife constantly says, you know, why don't you retire? We've got millions and millions of dollars. We could live anywhere in the world and do anything we want. Our grandchildren's education's secured, you know, whatever. And I go, because first of all, I'm having too much fun. And the fun for me is not getting there. The fun for me is not at the destination. The fun is on the way to the destination. It's like, we could say, how much fun is it to play baseball if you just walked out on the field, took a bow, and then you got a World Series trophy? The fun is in playing the game, competing with the person, testing how good you are, getting better at it. So for me right now, my goal is to train 1 million people to teach the success principles around the world. people in companies, people in schools, people in hospitals, people in halfway houses, rehab centers, whatever. And that inspires me. I get up every morning going, how are we going to do that? How are we going to get this into Azerbaijan? We've got 90 countries that haven't got a trainer in it yet. How do we get those people? We had to create an online training program because we couldn't get anyone from Iran and Afghanistan and Pakistan and Kuwait and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia to get over here. They can't get visas now, so whatever. So we realized we had to create an online program. So we spent 2 years and $300,000 developing an online training program that now we have 2,000 people involved in it. We have trainers in 91 countries. And I wake up every morning going, that is so cool. And when they had that last earthquake in Nepal, I find out one of my trainers who's taken the training online, got certified, is going around to villages in Nepal teaching them to be motivated to believe they can rebuild their village because all their stone houses shook apart because the cement's not like what we have here. Whereas they would just be sitting there in despair. And that makes me feel really excited. Where else can we do that, Right. So I love the game. I love the process. I love teaching.
And how gratifying is it to know that you've been able to contribute to hundreds of thousands of lives, and because
Sure.
of you, because of your message, because of your experiences, because of your know-how, you're giving purpose, you're giving life to people that perhaps at that moment, like I read one of your books and people are giving their testimonies, a blind guy, how you motivated, how you brought life back to him when he was feeling dead inside. So many people are feeling that way, and they just need just one person to believe in them, right?
Totally.
To inspire them.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a quick story. So I'm in Canada. I'm promoting the Success Principles. The first year it came out, I'm up there in Toronto, and I'm on a show, something like Good Day Toronto or something like that. And this guy is in bed. He's had a traumatic brain injury where the top part of his head was opened up in an automobile accident. His wife was told, you have 2 children now. He'll never walk normally again. He'll never talk normally again. You're gonna have like a 2-year-old. And he was, for 2 years, totally depressed, in bed, like hated the world, angry at everybody, not taking any responsibility. And he heard the guy on the TV show say, stay tuned. After this break, Jack Canfield is going to teach you how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And he said, I heard those words. I was sick of being in my bed. So I took the covers off and I actually looked and I watched. And I told my wife after the interview, I think it might be possible. I could learn to walk and talk and be normal again. Would you get that guy's book? Well, my book's pretty thick, and he couldn't read it really. Had his wife read him the chapters. Then he hired a tutor to teach him how to read again and how to talk again, how to walk again. 2 years later, he took my seminar, my live seminar. A year later, he took my Train the Trainer program, and now he's flying around the world teaching the Success Principles. He's been in Dubai, the Philippines, India, London, all over Canada. And this is a guy who was told would never happen again. So every one of us is like that guy in bed living this resigned life. The reason I'm so passionate is I'm doing what I love to do. If you're doing what you love, like fishing or golfing, you don't want to quit. You ever know anyone retire from golfing? They don't do it because they're having too much fun. And so if you love your work, you're not going to retire. One of my heroes is a management consultant who at the age of 93 wrote 3 books, wrote 40 papers, and gave 60 talks. 93.
From your success principles, what are your top 3 success principles that you would advise everyone? If you're going to take anything from this book, take these top 3.
That's like saying if you only keep 3 of your organs, which ones would you keep?
Okay, but okay, I know all of them are crucial.
They are.
It's
a system. But I would say number 1. I'm going to combine a couple into one. You got to know your purpose. You got to have a vision. You got to set goals. You got to break them down into measurable, specific action steps. That's called, you got to do that. Secondly, I would say learn to meditate.
Okay.
I just actually wrote an article yesterday on the benefits of meditation. I started meditating when I was in my 20s. The title for Chicken Soup for the Soul came in a meditation. That's a brand that's now worth several $100 million. If I hadn't meditated, I may never have come up with that title that became a brand. Chicken Soup for the Pet Lover sold dog food, sells millions of dollars of dog food every year. So meditate. We know from meditation, from 3,000 studies, 3,000 scientific research studies on meditation, it increases self-esteem, it lowers stress, it lowers depression. You're 60% less likely to ever be depressed, 30% less likely to ever have anxiety. I think it was 45% more assuredness you'll experience great well-being. Your immune system goes up, so you get sick less often, less colds, less flu, less bacterial infections. Longevity goes up, you live longer, you're more creative, your relationships improve, you sleep better, you're healthier. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. You're 60% more focused than the average person. You know, I could tell you, you could name a lot of famous people and I would say, that person meditates, that person meditates, that person meditates. Jim Carrey, $20 million a movie, he's a meditator. You know, so the president of the Ford Motor Company, you know, these are all guys who are meditating. Why? Because it allows them to be calm and clear and focused and decisive, whereas most people are just all over the place distracted. So the third thing I would say is mastermind group or accountability partner, meaning that once I have goals, I have to have action steps. And many people watching this are what we call solo entrepreneurs. They don't report to anyone. Even if they work in a real estate sales position, it's up to them whether they perform or not. And so you don't have your boss saying, well, how many cold calls did you make and do that kind of thing. You're on your own. And so you have to have someone that holds you accountable to do the uncomfortable things, because as we talked about earlier, everything you want you don't have is just outside your comfort zone. You've got to step out of that comfort. So if you were my accountability partner, we would call each other every morning for about a 10-minute phone call max, otherwise it gets onerous and we don't want to do it. And I would tell you my 5 things I'm going to do today. We call it the rule of 5. You would tell me the 5 things you're going to do today toward the achievement of your breakthrough goal. That goal that if you achieved it would rock your world, double your income, you know, become a millionaire, write that book, have your own TV show, whatever it would be. And tomorrow we call each other and I say, what did you do your 5 things? You have to tell me the truth. And after about 3 days of not doing one of them, that night you're going, I can't tell him I didn't do it tomorrow. I just better damn do it. And so you do. And so having that accountability built in is really, really powerful. And we brainstorm. I tell you a book I just read. So there's like lots of support. A mastermind group is simply the same kind of thing with 6 to 8 people. You don't want it smaller than that. You don't want it bigger than that. And that we, twice a month, get on the phone for about 90 minutes. Everybody gets 10 minutes of focus time. What's your challenge? How can we help you? What do you need? Where are you stuck? And then we brainstorm with you solutions, and then we do it for the next person, next person, next person. That is phenomenal. I would say, you know, 30% of my success never would have happened if I didn't have an accountability partner in the mastermind group.
Thank you for sharing, and yeah, it's crucial. I see we've experienced the growth and we see the potential that accountability partners and mastermind groups have for our growth and enhancement. Jack, can you share a little bit about your next trainings and perhaps invite the people that are watching to one of your next events? Because I know for me it was life-changing. It filled me up with fuel. I came back and I felt like if I could conquer the world. So can you share with us what you have coming up?
Yeah, August 5th to 9th, we're doing a workshop. We only do it twice a year. Next year, we're only going to do it once a year, called Breakthrough to Success. It's going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it's a 5-day training. You did a 1-day training. Imagine right. 4 more days of that, which was...
Sign me up.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to do that. And it's so incredibly powerful. It's like a car wash. People come in, they come out different. They look 5 years, 10 years younger. They are ready to rock the world. They have an unstoppable belief and self-confidence in themselves. They've clarified their purpose, their mission, their vision, their values, their goals. They have taken the passion test to determine what are their passions, and then they've got their top 5 passions ranked, and they're looking at how do you manifest those and activate those in your life. They'll have an action plan for their breakthrough goal, which we talked about, which is a quantum leap goal. Not like the 10 to 20% things most people do, but doubling, quadrupling 4 times. We've had one guy, he owns a lumber yard in Canada. He's doubled or tripled his income every year for the last 3 years. A contractor from that same city, they're friends. He's doubled or tripled. He only works 6 months a year now. 6 months he works in the summer, 6 months he spends in Mexico riding around on his bicycle and fishing. So the reality is it's really major breakthroughs. And you'll leave with the mastermind group and an accountability partner, all the things we just talked about. And you'll have learned how to meditate. You'll have so much fun. We have a lot of fun. inspiring and empowering people in the context of love and joy. So we have a lot of fun. That we play some major learning games where you have major aha breakthroughs, not because I'm teaching you or talking to you, but because you're experiencing, going, oh my God, I get it, you know. So that's coming up. We also have a Train the Trainer program. I think we have 2 more spaces in it, starting in July. And that's a 2-week program that's in July and November. And we're going to start another one of those later in the fall. And we have online programs. We have the online Train the Trainer program, which you can start anytime. And that's 40 hours of instruction. It's intense. But you can take as long as you want to do it. And at the end, you can be certified as a Canfield Success Principles trainer and be one of those people teaching this in your real estate office, in your mortgage brokerage firm. One of our most successful graduates is a woman named Cindy Ertman, who's a mortgage broker who is absolutely now rocking the world. She's going to be speaking with me at a mortgage brokerage conference in Las Vegas in sometime this summer. I can't remember the exact date. I think it's in June. And she's now speaking all over the world doing this work. And she's now got a group that she charges people $15,000 for this Platinum Mastermind group. So she's rocking it. And then we also have a course that's coming out in July. It's our Breakthrough to Success training, but as a home study program, because a lot of people, that date didn't work for them, or they can't afford the more expensive price or the hotel and all that stuff. So we're taking everything to digital. So you can go online at jackcanfield.com and find all of our programs, all of our resources, all of our books and audio programs and so forth.
Oh, that's so exciting. I invite all of you to attend one of Jack Canfield's seminars. Jack, from all of us at Finance of America, we'd like to thank you for this interview, for living an incredible life purpose and adding significance and value. And we took the liberty of bringing some glasses of wine so we could make a toast with you.
Oh, wow.